Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Sunday, September the 25th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am here on this football Sunday to bring you a little baseball. We know we like to get that giant net out and scoop all those fish in that have swam over to our baseball waters from the NFL side. So, you know what? That's why we're here. That's why we're doing a baseball podcast today. And that's why we're pretty much the only ones in the industry that are breaking down this slate for you to put together some winners. There's some great contests on Draftkings, Fanduel, and Yahoo. So hopefully our members start drifting in here. I'm going to keep this very concise today. I know a lot of you have football lineups you want to finalize and get ready. But I'm telling you, if you carve out this 30 or 40 minutes, it is going to be very profitable for you on the MLB baseball side. We had another fantastic night last night. I guess I shouldn't say fantastic. It was a really good night. We made profit. We certainly cashed in cash games, some single entries, no giant GPP takedowns. But Nolan Arenado coming through with a big home run and then a walk towards the end of that late game really did help us get over the hump. So set us up for a good night tonight. Again, you know, we're all about making profit every day here at Coach Talk. It is definitely a marathon and not a sprint. And, you know, we're all about here, and you can talk to our members and those that I've met face to face here on Zoom or in our Discord. You know, we're all about building the lineups, being able to cash every day enough to continue to build bankroll and get it done. Our goal, no reloading. That's the key factors. We want you to build bankroll. And then if you have a giant hit in there somewhere, even better. So fantastic stuff. Really excited to go over this slate with you. I want to say, Rodney Pollard, you got bamboozled today. Nathan Feudy beat you into the chat. So hats off to Nathan Feudy for being the early bird this morning. Rodney, that was close, almost second place, but it's still solid. Our man, Dead Presidents, also known as Feel the Pain or Pain Blanks M. And he's in here with us. Love that. RJ, how you doing, man? Thank you. Let's go fishing. Exactly. We don't even need a fishing pole, man. We just need one of those big nets, and we're just going to scoop it right up on deck and grab all the fish. That's what we're doing. Yep. Good morning, JT. Good morning, Tony A. And we are excited to go over this slate. So here's what it is today. Again, you guys that are in here, this is going to be super profitable for you. I'm going to keep doing this as long as the season's going on. We don't take days off here at Coach Talk because we want to grind and profit and keep going each day. I've got my Tiger red on for Sunday. Got the Draftkings hat on for the Millie Maker. Hopefully some of those tickets that we've been giving out this week, somebody can hit a big one. That would be really awesome. All right. I'm hoping some of our big football dudes come in here. Come on, guys. Don't be afraid to win at double the sports. You can win more than just football. 15 games on the Yahoo slate. How about that? We're going to touch on all of them here. We're going to go faster so you can get back to your football lineups, but let's go over the 15-game Yahoo slate. That all-day Yahoo slate has been absolute gold mine. It has been like an ATM machine for me. So we want to keep that going. FanDuel and DraftKings, I'm fired up, though. What they did is it's a 10-game slate on their main slate. No Coors Field, which kudos, man. If it was up to me, I'd throw all the Coors Field games out of DFS. I just think it makes it too lopsided and it screws up your strategy. So their games, all three slates start at 105. 10 games DraftKings, 10 games FanDuel, 15 Yahoo. All right, my friends, we're going to go after this sucker. Only thing that looks like weather issue at all that I'm a little concerned about is Houston at Baltimore. So I'm a little hesitant there. I firmly believe there's going to be an in-game delay. So that game I'm avoiding a little bit. Certainly don't want to go to any pitching there. I don't see how that rain misses Baltimore during the game. That's the only game that I'm concerned about. I think everything else is a solid go. No worries whatsoever. All right, let's dive into this. All business here. We got to get through it and get ready for the big slate today. If you want to join us at DFS Coach Talk, go to dfscoachtalk.com. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at DFS Coach Talk. I'm at Joe Sarvati. And we'd love to have you. If you're watching right now on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. That really means a lot to us. We really, really do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe and the little alert in the upper corner. That lets you know when any of our podcast posts, so you're not going to miss out. Basketball's right around the corner, man. NBA is my number one sport, MLB second, and then PGA and on down. But NBA is getting ready. Camps open in a week. So that's next to be 7-day-a-week podcast for us. So really looking forward to that. Great time to join Coach Talk. We'll have a special NBA package that's also coming out very soon. If you're watching on Twitter, please hit that retweet, like, and retweet so some other folks can jump in with us. All right, first game on the slate, my friends. It is 105. And it is that Houston-Baltimore game. I'm not going to be going there very much so because I do think there's going to be rain during that game. So I'm fading Christian Javier. Austin Voth wasn't going to play anyway. But neither side there. Maybe a one-off bat. You guys know how much I like Rutschman from the left side. He usually comes through for me. But again, with the weather and everything, not positive I'm going to go there. It is 4.9 price. Santander 4-4 also have some definite interest there. Gunnar Henderson, who took a couple zeros for me recently, is batting in the 3-hole at 3.9, and I hate to miss out when he does jump back in the mix. If you want to spend up to Jordan Alvarez at 6.3, it is pricey, but he's the best bat on that side. All right, game 2 is the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. It is 8.5 total, 74 degrees in Philadelphia, wind blowing out to right center at 12 miles an hour. Uncle Charlie Morton, 9.3K on the hill for Atlanta. Kyle Gibson at 7.1K for the Phillies. I like the hitters in this game. With the temperature being comfortable, mid-70s, wind blowing out. I think the rain holds off there. I'm fading Charlie Morton. He's my fade pitcher right out of the chute. Just don't want to pay that over 9 price for him. And I think Phillies sticks are getting it going. So, and there's no easy outs in that lineup from top to bottom. So I will have exposure to a couple of guys from each side, cherry pick a few guys out of there. There's still no Acuna Jr. He's out. So Swanson, Harris, Riley, Darno at the top are all solid plays. Olsen in the 5-hole and William Contreras in the 6-hole. He had a big homer for us yesterday. For the Philly side, definitely want to go to a few of these bats. Schwarber, Hoskins, Harper, Bohm, bat, and cleanup. How about that? And Segura I like a lot today in the 5-hole. So a little bit of exposure for the hitters on both sides here. 110, it's Toronto Blue Jays and Tampa Bay Rays. Only 6.5 total here. 3 implied for Toronto, 3.5 for the Rays. Ross Stripling at 7.7K against Shane McClanahan, the lefty, at 10.6K. Pretty expensive there. I do think getting to one of the at bat people here, can't speak. One of the Toronto bats is what I'm trying to say, people, is not a bad idea. Don't want to spend up a ton here. I respect McClanahan enough. That is a wonky place to hit there at times. So not big on the Toronto side, but I like the Tampa side. I know the total's only 6.5. Stripling's been inconsistent on and off, but this Tampa Bay mini stack just is being completely ignored. My two BVP plays for today. One of them is Manuel Margot. I really like him. He's 4.2K. He's leading off, and he's really hit Stripling. 9 for 23, 6 extra base hits, 3 home runs. He's walked a couple times. So a big 1353 OPS, 913 slugging, 440 OBP, and 391 average. So I think Margot's a terrific play today. He is going to make a lot of my lineups. I also want to try to add another Ray or two in there, whether it's Rosarena, Franco, Ramirez, Peralta. There's a group there that is pretty cheap and pretty low owned. So really excited about that group. Speaking of low owned, let's go ahead and look at that now since we're going to be motoring today. Let's look at stack ownership since we just talked about it. Really weird today. You guys are going to crack up at this one, but the number one stack team on Draftkings is the Pittsburgh Pirates. You got to be kidding me. I don't think that's happened this season. They're 11.7% projected ownership, and then it's just all single digits. So you don't have to, whoever you're going to stack today, don't worry about it. There is no chalk. The other teams getting pretty high numbers, not pretty high, upper single digits, 9, 8, and 7%. Seattle, the White Sox, Houston, the Angels, Miami, Minnesota, and Milwaukee. So that's on Draftkings. A little bit different on Fanduel. The White Sox are number 1. Houston is number 2, 12 and 11%. And then you have a group at 9 and 8. Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Milwaukee, the Angels, and Miami. On Yahoo, the stacks with the 30 teams on that one are quite a bit different because they include cores. So you're going to have number 1, San Diego, of course, at about 11. Atlanta comes in second on Yahoo at 7, 6 for the Dodgers, 6 for Arizona, Miami, Seattle, the White Sox, Minnesota, and Cleveland. So that's what the stacks look like today. Yahoo obviously cores with San Diego's a little chalky, but other than that, don't even stress it. If you like a stack, then go for it. And you really don't have to feel like you have to avert it because of that it's too owned. So Tampa's my sneaky little stack. They're one of the 3 that I'm going to recommend, not as a full-blown 5-man, but like a 3-man, 2 at the very least. I think that's a very sneaky one. All right, Cubs and Pirates. This is an interesting game as well. It is 69 degrees in Pittsburgh. Definitely a chance of on and off showers here. I don't think it's going to stop the game or cancel the game, but it will be a little wet. Totals 8, 3.76 implied for the Cubs, 4.24 for the Pirates. Adrian Sampson, 6.6K against Luis Ortiz, 7.3K. Big shocker here. My value pitcher today is this young man from the Pirates, Luis Ortiz. He's 7.3K on Draftkings, 7.3K on Fanduel, and he is only 26 on Yahoo. So he's going to allow me to get to some of the players that I want to get to hitting-wise, and he's done fine in his 2 outings. He's a respected minor league pitcher in the Pirates organization. He's only 23 years old, and he's worked his way up right away from AA to AAA to the majors this year. And he's had 2 good outings in his first 2. He had a pitch in Great American Small Park against Cincinnati and went 5 2/3, 83 pitches, 32 Fanduel points with 5 Ks. Then he had the Yankees in New York. Talk about pressure under all that scrutiny going on. 27 Fanduel points. He pitched 5 full innings against the Yanks, only gave up 1 earned run, 74 pitches, 5 strikeouts. So I love the spot here. I think he's basically unowned. Let's go ahead and do the ownership pitching so you can see why I like this as a very contrarian value play. He is way down, like, I don't know, 14 down the list. He's about 1% owned on DraftKings. So this is contrarian, but he's cheap. He allows me to get to a couple of these big bats that I'll go over, the Otanis that I want to get to on DraftKings and Fanduel. Judge on Yahoo. I'm going to pay the $30 for Judge on Yahoo. I think he gets 61 tonight. That's my call. One of my calls of the day. As far as pitching ownership, Dylan Cease is the chalk at 41. Lodolo and Edward Cabrera right behind him at 30% each. Luis Castillo at 29. Those are the main four. Then McClanahan, Morton, and Javier, 18, 16, and 14. And then it drops off the face of the earth. So that's the group. On FanDuel, same thing. Cease, chalk, 34. Castillo, 18. Lodolo and Cabrera, 13 and 12, respectively. It falls off a cliff from there. On Yahoo, it's Shane McClanahan slightly over Dylan Cease. McClanahan, 32. And because he's $9 cheaper than Dylan Cease is 30. Castillo, 26. Cabrera, 25. Same group of guys. Lodolo, 24. Morton, 13. Scherzer, who's on this slate, at 11. Cortez at 10. And Javier at 10. So some differences between the slates for sure. Let's see if anybody else hopped in here. Let's see. Boy from Cali. Thank goodness you made it over, man. Deb Lutz, let's go. I love this. I love it. Small but mighty group here. Hope we get some more people. That's okay. We'll share the money amongst us, right? Todd, how you doing, man? Great to have you in there with us as well. You want to know the Braves ownership, Mr. Tony? I don't know if I said it, but I will go back over it and tell you, as far as a stack goes, the Braves are way down the list, my friend. 2% right now on DraftKings. On FanDuel, let's see here. Is there Brave? Where are the Braves? Oh, they're fourth on FanDuel, getting some love there at 9%. And then on Yahoo, second. They're second highest at 7%. So you've got some, variance there for the Braves. All right, let's get back to the lineup here of games. So we went Cubs, Braves, Pirates. So in that game, by the way, not a lot of hitting for me. Obviously, no Cubs. I'm counting on Ortiz to get through 5 or 6 innings, give me enough fantasy points, to let my hitting take over. On the Pirates side, maybe a one-off at most against Sampson. You can get super cheap, though. Castro's 2.8 in a 3-hole. Ben Gamble, 2.5 in the 4-hole. Cal Mitchell probably batting 5th at 2.1. So if you want any of that Pirates hitters, you can get them. But I think it's a better pitching game. It's a pitching stadium. The weather's a little dreary, in the high 60s. So I'd go pitching over hitting, at least hopefully on the Pirates side for sure. Brewers at the Reds, 74 degrees there. Wind blowing out to left at 16 miles an hour. So that's scary. That ballpark with the wind blowing out is definitely why, you're going to get some ownership in this game. You've got an 8 total, 4.35 implied for the Brewers, 3.65 for the Reds. Freddie Peralta, 8.7K against the very popular Nick Lodolo at 9K. So I know Lodolo's been striking out everybody on earth, and I know the Brewers can hit lefties. If Crash was in here, he's getting ready for football, but he'd tell you right out that that's very tempting. So, Peralta's not a bad play at 8.7, but he hasn't been sharp enough to make my lineup. Lodolo's very, very tempting. He really is. I mean, he's the guy that if I play a secondary lineup, he would be my second pitcher over the rookie Ortiz from the Pirates, because I just think Lodolo's strikeouts lately have been enormous. And certainly Milwaukee, they just don't hit lefties well. So I think Lodolo is a great play. I'm going to give him a recommendation as a second pitcher if you're playing more than one lineup. As far as bats go, not really going to go there in this game that much. And that's scary. With the wind blowing out in that small ballpark, it definitely causes some concern. You certainly can go Friedel at the top at 3.5, Farmer at 4.8. Spencer Steers batting cleanup at 3K. I really like that play. Stuart Fairchild is batting 5th. He's an outfielder, well-respected in the Reds organization. He's dead min 2K. So there's some really good young bats from the Cincinnati side you could get to. If you don't play Lodolo and you go on the other side, you certainly can go to the, Brousseau maybe, Adames, Yelich, that group where, only Adames super expensive, Yelich not as bad, lefty on lefty though. So some decisions to be made there, probably not going to have a lot of exposure to Milwaukee. All right, 140. Washington Nationals, Miami Marlins, total of 7 in the Dome in Miami, 3 implied for Washington, 4 for the Marlins. Anibal Sanchez, 6.2K, and a pretty chalky Edward Cabrera at 8.5K. I get the Cabrera ownership. It makes sense. Washington's lineup's bad. Just, at 8.5, he just was not quite there for me for the buy-up pitcher, not cheap enough for the value pitcher. So he's just an odd man out, but I do think he's in a really good spot here. Don't particularly like any bats on the Washington side, and not doing backflips for bats from the Marlins side either. I think this could be a fairly low scoring game, even though I don't respect Anibal Sanchez, but just not enough to really get to much here. Brian De La Cruz is batting 6th, JJ Bleday 5th. Those are 2 youngsters that have done some good things for us late in the season. So just as a one-off fill-in, last guy in to make the lineup work would be where I go there. Let's see. Hoping Brew Crew gets it done. Hitters ump in Braves game. Yes, that is true. And pitchers ump in the Marlins game. Another reason not to play that game very much. And another reason to play that Braves-Phillies game. I do like the hitting in that game. I did notice, too, that those umps, and that makes a difference. They don't get those corners. A 1-2 count compared to a 2-1 count changes everything. So good point there, Tony, for sure. All right, we're going to keep rolling. We got football on our heels. We got to get there. Detroit Tigers at the Chicago White Sox. This will be probably the key game of the day for me, folks. It is at 210. 8 is the over-under, 67 degrees. Wind blowing out to center, which is a little nerve-wracking for Dylan Cease, who's my pay-up pitcher. I just think he's the best pitcher on the slate. I really do. I'm going to pay up for him. Detroit is 4th in the league striking out against right-handed pitchers, and they're dead last, 30th batting average against right-handed pitchers. I don't know if I said left or right, but it's right. Right-handed pitcher Dylan Cease. So 4th highest in strikeouts for Detroit, worst batting average at 217 against righties in the entire league. So I'm paying the 10-8 on DraftKings, 10-5 on Fanduel, 54 on Yahoo. So he's expensive and he is a bit chalky, but I'm comfortable with it. I've got a secondary value pitcher, like I mentioned, the rookie from the Pirates, or a Lodolo, or somewhere else I can go there and feel comfortable with that mix. Detroit's just, their lineup's not that strong. Green, Baez, Castro, Haas, Carpenter, Scope, Candelario, Creedler, and Reyes. So I feel good about Cease. He's been steady as a rock. I mean, he had 2 good performances. Cleveland, which is a tough one to go against. He's been so solid. Big games, 55, 58, 46, 30, 43, and 18 he had in there against Houston, a 50, 46. So you're going to get innings. He's stretched out. He's gone over 100 pitches, 4 of his last 5 games, and he's gone over 90 pitches in every start but one. And that was the first start of the year where he went 79. He has not gone under 91 pitches in any start this year. How the heck is that possible? Talk about an innings eater. You're going to go deep with this guy. That is super impressive. So another reason to really like Dylan Cease today. I also like the White Sox bats. That is one of my 3 stacks today. I'm going to get there. My BVP call also is Jose Abreu. Really like him today in this matchup against Alexander. Abreu's numbers in that BVP matchup are as follows. Where is he? There he is. 12 for 24. I think I can do the math there. So half the time he's getting a hit. 1125 OPS, 625 slugging, and a 500 average. So again, I like it. The wind's blowing out to center. That's going to be helpful. And I want to get to, Moncada. I want to get to Abreu. I think, you can, there's several different places you can go. Okay, wait a minute here. Let me see something. Abreu's not in the White Sox lineup. The lineup dropped and he's not in there. So scratch that. That's one guy off the list. Here's the White Sox lineup. Do I still like it as a stack? I'm going to say no. I'm going to eliminate them as a stack now. It's Andrus Moncada, which I still want to get to Moncada. Pollock third, Vaughn, Sheets, Grandal, Zavala, Gonzalez, and Engel. So you have no Robert, no Jimenez, multiple guys missing. So no more stacking for me in this game, but I do want to get to 1, maybe 2 White Sox at the very most. But this becomes just a Dylan Cease game for me. I'm glad that we saw that now so that we can adjust. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Joe K. What's up, man? Let's see. Yep, I got it, guys. Thank you, though, for jumping into it with me on Abreu. I noticed it really quickly there, which is good because that changes my strategy, lets me add a little bit of a different stack team in there. All right, we go to the next game. It is the Los Angeles Angels and Minnesota Twins. 66 degrees, pretty good wind blowing out 20 miles an hour to right center. Angels and Twins game, and pretty good temperature. 66 is solid. Jose Suarez, the lefty, 7'9". Dylan Bundy, 5'9" for the Twins. The Angels are my favorite stack on the entire slate. Their lineup, I don't have an official lineup for them yet. I'm going to hit the refresh, but that's okay. I'm going with them. Rengifo, Ohtani's going to be my home run call today. Going with Ohtani. Ward's been hot. And I think you can get to even a Ford or Duffy 5-6 at the min pricing if you want. So I'll have 3, maybe even 4 Angels, probably 3. I think Bundy's just, wind blowing out, and he's a fly ball pitcher, and he's known to give up gopher balls. I really like this spot for LA. On the Minnesota side, I've not been playing their bats. Suarez is decent. Miranda leading off is tempting. I've been a fan of his since the get-go, and he's only 3.5, so you could look there as well. All right, the Seattle Mariners, Kansas City Royals. That's a 2:10 game. It's warm in Kansas City, 77 degrees, left to right breeze, 7.5 is the total. Luis Castillo, 9.8K. I thought he'd be more popular than he even is, to be honest with you. When I first looked at it, I thought he's going to be 1 or 2 in the highest owned, and he's up there, but not at the very top. Max Castillo at 5.5K for the Royals. So you've got some bats in here that are decent. J.P. Crawford's leading off. Ty France, Haniger, Santana, who let us down last night. Cal Raleigh's got a lot of pop. So they've got some good bats at the top of that order. Wouldn't mind having some exposure there. And, I love these young bats for KC, but I respect Castillo enough that I'm certainly not going to stack any of the Royals. But if I get a one-off, I'm so mad I didn't play Pasquantino. I've been preaching Pasquantino to you guys every day. I left him out yesterday, and he went nuts. Home run, the whole 9 yards. But I don't know. Does he go back-to-back with it today? It's possible. Little tougher matchup with Castillo. So maybe a one-off to Melendez at the top of the order, but not a lot of interest in that game. All right, we have 6 more games. I got to get moving here. Cleveland Guardians, Texas Rangers. It's 2:35 game in the Dome in Texas. 8 is the total. 4.28 implied for the Guardians. 3.72 for the Rangers. Aaron Savali, 7.5K against Cole Reagans, the lefty, at 5K. What do we like here? Well, I'm not going to go on either side of the pitcher. And as far as hitting, strictly, one-offs here. Definitely would like to get to Seager if I can. He's my favorite bat from this game on the Rangers side. He will get into my lineups at 4-9 for sure at shortstop against Savali. You can get fairly cheap one-offs. Gonzalez had a great game yesterday for Cleveland. He's dangerous. But you got to pay for now a lot more than you did before for the Guardians bats. The top 6 are all fairly pricey except for Owen Miller. So one-offs on both sides there's probably going to be the ticket. Now we get these last 5 games that are not on the Fanduel and Draftkings main slate. So I want to review for that because I know that's where the majority of you guys play everything. So I like Dylan Cease as the pay up, Ortiz the youngster for Pittsburgh being my value play. Little side note to Lodolo being dangerous today. My fade is Morton. My HR call is Ohtani. My BVP is Margot. My stacks now are going to be the Angels and Tampa Bay. And that's it. So I'm going to hit these other games for our Yahoo people, which is me. And then we'll get on down the road so you can get these football lineups together. San Diego, Colorado, the Coors Field game, certainly, 10.5, the biggest total, 73 degrees in Colorado. So good hitting as always there. 5.73 implied for San Diego, 4.77 for Colorado. Mike Clevenger versus Kyle Freeland in this game. A couple of bats from each side on Yahoo, if possible. You can go Daza, Cheaper, or Grishik. Sort of like Blackman today a little bit. He's batting in the 5 hole, which is a little bit different for him. Diaz, who really let us down the other day, is a sneaky catcher play because he can go deep. And then, of course, if you want to pay up for some of these Padres bats, you can. Soto, Machado, in the middle of the mix. Cronenworth did okay for us yesterday, but it's lefty on lefty there. So I would stick more to a Machado, maybe a Brandon Drury. He has not been terrific, but this could be a good spot for him. All right, San Francisco at Arizona, 340 is that game. 8.5 is the total. 4.14 for San Fran, 4.36 for the D-backs. Scott Alexander and Jacob Junis, the starter and placement guy for the Giants. Dre Jameson, the youngster. I know Deb was real high on him, right? There in Arizona. He's a good young pitcher. I think he's a nice play today too, as the value play on Yahoo at 7.5. San Fran's not hitting the ball real well, so I think he would definitely be a possibility in if you want to buy up and get Judge and such on the Yahoo slate. On the Arizona side, as far as batting, they're going to probably load the top of it with a lot of lefties. Corbin Carroll, always dangerous. Pavin Smith just came back recently. He's been okay. Varsho, Walker, Marte, all playable. Not a stack, but 1 or 2 off there, I think, is a good play. Mets in Oakland. First of all, I got to say, what in the hell happened to DeGrom yesterday? I was like, what? It goes to show you that anything in sports is possible. There's no such thing as a shoe-in. And if you think you have an impossible wager to lose, think again. DeGrom getting shelled in Oakland by the A's in that stadium, whatever. You got me. So this game today is a total of 7, and it's Max Scherzer. So you know what? Do you go back to the well on Yahoo and go to Max? I don't know how deep he goes. Maybe he goes deep enough. I mean, I'm just not even going to. I'm so, dumbstruck over the DeGrom thing yesterday. I'm not even going to go to Scherzer here, but it's different situation. Still the same ballpark, 75 degrees there, which isn't bad. 4.64 implied for the Mets, 2.36 for the A's. Scherzer 10-9 against Sears, the lefty, at 6-8. Certainly can go to some Mets bats. They normally don't hit a bunch for Scherzer, but they may here because you got Alonso, who's been hot, and then Lindor, Escobar. It's going to cost you a little bit, but I think some of those bats aren't a bad idea. 2 left, 410, Cardinals, Dodgers. The total's 9, 89 degrees in LA, so it is warmer, a little breeze blowing out. Adam Wainwright, 9.3K against Michael Grove, 5.5K. Not real high on Grove, that's for sure. So bats galore for me in this game. I don't like Waino today either, and I certainly don't like Grove. The question is, what can you afford here? I think the middle of that order certainly can go back to a Goldschmidt's in a hellacious slump, though. I'm not going to go to Goldschmidt here. He just doesn't look right at the bat. He'll probably break out with like a 3-homer game one of these games, but I'm not going to go there. Arenado looked pretty good last night. A lot of different spots you can go there in that lineup. Whether Albert's in there or not should be interesting. I would give him the rest of the year off, really, but it is what it is. Dodgers, same thing. You got to spend up, but, Betts, Turner, Freeman, Smith, Muncy, the other Turner, all at the top, all good plays. Not going to stack, though, but I will have some exposure to this game. And then the last game, the night game, 7:08. The only, if you play it straight up or it's on Yahoo on the main slate, all 15 games. Red Sox, Yankees. I haven't made the call in all, since he hit number 60, but I am today. I think Judge goes deep against Balo. I really do. I think he's going to go deep and hit the 61st today. So he's going to be in my Yahoo lineup. He's $30, which is the highest I've seen a player on Yahoo, but I think it's worth it. He's going to be in there for me. I like to pick on Balo, so I'll Yankees stack it as much as I can price-wise. Torres, Donaldson aren't too bad. Want to get to those guys. Rizzo is slumped. I agree. Sean B made the point. I played him anyway, and he didn't do well, but he did come back the next day in homer, so he's not out of the question either. I also like the cheaper bats like Cabrera and Bader, so I will be on Yankees here. I'm not a huge Cortez guy either, but I don't want to spend the big bucks for the Boston bats. It is, going to be 69 degrees in New York. So it's, it's a comfortable night. It's not like it's a cool or cold night for a fall game. So, maybe a couple of the righties there. Pham's okay. Bogarts is expensive, though. JD, very playable. Ref Snyder's not a bad play either. So could go to a few of those guys, but I much prefer the Yankees side of the slate. All right, my friends, how about smoking through that? I'm not playing around. 38 minutes, 15 games, and I stalled a little bit to let some folks get in here at the beginning. I love this slate today. I'm telling you, we're going to make money on this slate. Cease is the pay-up guy. Really think he'll have a good performance. Can get a little experimentative with your value pitcher. For me, I'm going to go all the way down to the youngster Ortiz. I think I can get maybe 6 innings out of him with about 6 strikeouts, pitch well enough at that $7,300 number that I can get Ohtani in there. I can get a couple of the other big bats that I want to get into the lineup and stack it up. Because, you need 4, 5, 6 homers if you want to take anything big down, and your pitchers have to get it done. So I think that is it, my friends. I told you I'd get it done quick. You got plenty of time now for football. Get these baseball lineups in as well. Again, it's 10 games on Draftkings and Fanduel that start at 105, 15 games for the Yahoo all day. Here are my prize picks plays for you guys. Morton under 36.5. Like I said, I expect the Toronto or the Philly Atlanta game to be more of a hitting game. You got a hitter's ump, and I think this can be a tough start for Morton. 36.5 is quite a few, so I like the under. My other pick got scratched with Abreu, so I'm going to take. I'm not sure what the number is because it was Abreu I had on here, but I want Ohtani over his fantasy score. I really like Ohtani today. For Boom Fantasy, I want to thank them for being our presenting sponsor. Try out Boom Fantasy. The link is right here in YouTube and on Twitter. If you go to our website, dfscoachtalk.com, it's also linked there. Come and check us out on Twitter at dfscoachtalk. Give us some more feedback, and we'll go from there. Boom, I like Franco. It's toss-ups. I like Franco over Springer. So I'm going with the Ray over the Blue Jay there. Franco over Springer. And I'm going with Olsen over Bohm, believe it or not. I like the Atlanta side on that one because Olsen has really good BVP against him. And I think that he out-hits Bohm. All right, that's everything, my friends. You got it. The solo flight here today. Let's crush it. Hopefully those Millie Maker tickets we gave out this week, somebody takes it down. NFL and MLB all day. We're also going to post NASCAR lineups. They have a weird 3:47 start, so we'll be posting those this afternoon if you are a NASCAR fan. And that is it. It is going to be a very fun Sunday. I hope you all take down everything you need to take down today. Appreciate everybody that gutted it out and got in here for me. Nathan Feudy, Rodney Pollard, Payne Blanks, SM, also known as Dead Presidents, RJ, JT, Tony A, Deb Lutz, and Josh for showing some team support here. My man Todd Live, Doug L. All right, Doug L. Come on, man. And Boy from Cali, as always. I knew he'd show. And I think that's everybody. So appreciate all of you. Have a great day. Crash and I will be back tomorrow for the Monday main slate. And then in about a week, it's NBA, baby. We got it all going here at Coach Talk. Come and join us. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and alert button on the way out. And have a fantastic day. I am Coach. We'll see you tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB, DFS, Prize Picks, and Boom Fantasy.